Hey guys, this is me. I'm Scott Kane. This is my first YouTube video and I'm so psyched to teach you Python programming. What is Python programming? What is it? Let's answer that question first. Python programming is a very beginner simple program where you can basically create awesome things like create games, and import many modules and do all kinds of stuff with it. But then next, there's another main question which is asked: what is programming? What is it really? I do not know. Programming is a wonderful thing, wonderful thing where you have the ability to communicate with the computer. Like you can communicate with it by you write a bunch of code. Obviously not verbally you can communicate with it, but you can write a bunch of code. This code is basically what you're going to say to the computer. You run it, it gets executed. Execution is basically thinking in terms, in analogical terms. It means thinking. It executes the code and then it gives the output, the result that it wants to say. Brain gives the result it wants to say. Nice, right? So that's what's programming, and I give you a basic gist of it. You see, programming without you can't do without any software you use is programmed. Anything, any hardware you use is still programmed. So I'll be teaching you how to download the Python software. So I'll go to Google. I'll go to Python. Depending on what you have, Windows or Mac OS, we need to download it. I have Windows, so I'll download this. If you have Mac OS, you just click this, get a bunch of downloads, and maybe best if you download this, like latest Python. And you don't want to download Python 2. Python 3 is very old, so just download Python 3. This simple kick, and see, wow. Obviously, it's very little memory, so let's open it. Install now. All these stuff is basically brought into our PC. Stuff from the internet. It's brought from the IP addresses which we searched is brought into our PC. Notice all the stuff going in orderly manner swimming into our PC. Just close it. Now it's simple. I'll close this, and what I'll do is I'll go to idle. I'll go to Python, and if you type in Python, there'll be idle right on top. Now, what is idle actually? This is idle Python, right? Idle is basically integrated development and learning environment. So this integrated development and learning environment is where you write the source code and run it. But JavaScript use another way. JavaScript, C++, they use IDE, which is Integrated Development Environment. Here it uses Integrated Development and Learning Environment. So Python makes stuff more interactive and makes it more fun, I suppose. Okay, so let's search it out. Let's check it out. So first, when we click this, we land this area. This is known as a shell. This platform is known as a shell, and it can only execute one line of code. And it can only execute one line of code. And obviously, if you want to create a complex program, you need to create a lot of them. Create over 30, you need to create over 50, 60 lines of them. So obviously, if you use shell, people usually use shell to, very simple programs, or maybe test out a new function that they found on the internet that they want to try out, and all these stuff. That's what people use shell for. But the platform in which you write the main code and you run it, this is where it is located. We press new files and we get a plain code without any of these arrow marks. We get a plain pure white sheet, and we can write all bunches of code we like. bunch stacks of code and all this gets, and if you just simply run the module, this is just gibberish I wrote. It's not real code. It's gibberish, and I'll just press OK, save. I'm not really going to run this program, or else obviously the computer won't understand this. And obviously select its path, and I'll just call this dummy.py. I'm not going to run this, like I said. I'm not going to run this dummy.py. We use for every program we Pythonistas or Pythonese, they use py at the end to ascertain the computer's Python file. Obviously, it's just optional. You don't need to do it because obviously save as type is already in Python file. So I need to do it. I'll just save it, and this ran, and obviously suddenly there's one error. So if the CPU does not understand this code, like mine obviously doesn't understand this, it gives an error. It doesn't execute the code. It doesn't give the output that we want. It gives this. It says name error, name is not defined. And also, there's also a unique way of executing. So when we run this module, the computer executes this in layers. So it starts from this, executes this, executes this, executes this, executes this, and it goes in order. It doesn't execute randomly, like it doesn't execute from here, it doesn't start from here, it doesn't go there, it doesn't go here. It executes in an orderly fashion, like that. Whatever. But let's check out the two main processes of executing code. Executing a code, there are two main processes. The first process is compiling it. Compiling is when the CPU or the PC, I'll call it CPU, which stands for Central Processing Unit, scans the code line by line. Interpreting is figures out what we should do with it, and it actually next debugs it, finds out whether there are any mistakes in it, and then next it interprets. If there's no mistakes in it, interprets it. It says, yeah, I'm going to interpret this code. It makes all sense. Let's just interpret it. Let's just interpret this code and let's just output it. Output the result. Yeah, so these are three main processes of actually processing. There's three portions of it. But debugging, it doesn't always highlight all the problems. If you've written something completely random, it doesn't highlight all the problems. Debugging is this. So I write code. This is a variable. If you want to understand any of this, if you're a beginner, I'll put this and I'll tab it. Print. I do this and I want to run this program. Run this module. Okay. This is called debugging. Debugging is when it just says when we exactly run this code, exactly in the platform we've written the code, it gives a problem. This knows debugging. But this error that we said before, it's not debugging. Debug says, yeah, this is correct. It says all this gibberish I've written is correct. But then after it's interpreted, it obviously says it's wrong. Yeah, this is wrong. So and then it gives an error. There are many different types of errors. There are syntax error. I'll just list out a few. Syntax error, where if I do this, it'll be a syntax error. And there are several kinds of errors. There's like tons of errors. So yeah, I hope you've learned about errors and debugging and all that stuff. And then these are this coordinate, obviously save as, save copy, and all this stuff. As you may know, save is updating the software, save as is changing the path of directory, changing the directory path of the file, and save copy, print window, and all these stuff, shell and debugging and all this stuff we have. So I hope you've learned stuff, and if you've enjoyed this video, thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and obviously watch our next video where I'll teach you real Python. This is just settling in with the software. I'll teach you real Python. So, thank you very much for watching.